Hello everybody, welcome back to Plum Figgy. This is Tammy. Alright, so I was going to start working on some Christmas journals. Well, actually I've already started. Actually I've done quite a lot. I've printed off a bunch of digital kits that I've kind of had for a while, and I found some really good sales too. And so yeah, I went a little crazy with the digital kits, but they're so much fun. So I might have a little addiction. But we're gonna cut that off by the new year. So I'm gonna go crazy until the new, well, I say that now, but anyway. Okay, so I've got this is a digital kit from My Porch Prints that I actually bought, I think last year, not the year before. It's a very neutral Christmas kit, and actually here, let me kind of show you. So she's done this kit in both horizontal and vertical, and so these are going to be the horizontal version, and these two are going to be a vertical version, but very neutral, grays and white basically. And then I've gone ahead and tea dyed everything. So my thought on these is I wanted to do kind of like a folio, and so let me just pull one of these out. So they're all going to be basically the same, but today we're just going to work on the one. So this is kind of how I have things organized. So here is one of the tall versions. And so this will be part of one signature, and then I'm going to do a second signature. And for right now, I just have the digital kit in here, but I'll be adding writing paper and, you know, vintage music and things like that. That's Christmassy. So this will be one of the signatures. I'm going to turn this, and this is what we're going to work on today, into an ephemera folder. And here you can see there's an awful lot of ephemera that's going to be tucked into all the pockets and things that we're going to make for this ephemera folder. And then if you can visualize my thought here, so we'll have a signature of it's going to be sort of like a traveler's notebook, but obviously not in the traveler's notebook size. So I'm going to create a cover for all four of these. But we'll have a signature, and then we'll have our folder, and then we'll have another signature. And so this way, if you wanted to use this as your December daily, you have all of your ephemera pretty much ready to go. And I like that it's so neutral that you can have pops of color here and there, or if you wanted to keep it neutral, you could certainly do that too. So the only color that I'm going to add is I have a burgundy thread in my sewing machine. So wherever I sew, I will include that color. But other than that, it's going to be black and white and gray. So, all right. Now, if you kind of are seeing where I'm going, we've got the two different sizes. So we have this tall version, and then this is the horizontal version. So same thing, I'll turn this into pockets and an ephemera folder. And but for today, just on camera, I'm just going to work on this one with you guys, and then by the magic of video the rest of it will be done. So what I like to do is I just kind of, while I'm working on a project, to keep everything sort of straight. I don't usually have this much ephemera. I think honestly, you might have ephemera to save for the next year if you ended up getting one of these journals. Whoops. Nope, that's part of it. Yeah, these are just a couple different kits from My Porch Prints, and then she sends a freebie a lot of times. Maybe these aren't. Whatever kits I used, I'll link down in the description below in case you're curious or interested and wanted to get them for yourself. So we're going to put these aside for now and kind of work on our pockets. So here's where, okay, so in my mind I was trying to think through what I wanted to do. If I wanted to back this pocket area with some of that paper from the kit, or keep it just the craft color paper. And in the end, I think the ephemera will be the decoration for this. So what I'm going to do is keep this just all craft colored paper and sewing, and that's it. And then we'll tuck in all the things afterwards. So let me kind of show you what I've used so far to create these little folders. Just a paper bag from the grocery store. That's all this is. And my kitten absolutely, and I apologize for my hands, his claws are really sharp right now and I need to get them trimmed. And he got me a few times this morning, so I apologize for my hands today. So I just rip apart one of these paper bags, and the easiest way that I've found is find the seam and just tear down there and do that all the way to the bottom until you get down here. And then I just, or you could start here and do it the other way around, but then I just find the seams down here and start ripping. If you have like a bone folder or something to get underneath here, that could help you. But yeah, I just kind of go like that, and some of this isn't going to be very usable, but most of it will be. So that's kind of where I started, and here are some of the leftovers. Kitty teeth marks. That I can use now for making pockets. So what I don't love is you're going to have a lot of folds and things, natural folds from the, hi kitty, from the paper bag, and he hears these and he just wants to play. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do this very well today. He is very much active at the moment. So let's see. I'm kind of organizing everything here. Okay, so, and I apologize. This is probably very noisy. So there's just kind of a look at what I'm working with here. And I think I used this Aldi bag because I liked the color of this one a little bit better. This one kind of has an orange tint to it. But to be honest with you, I'm covering them now with, this is just some packing paper that I received in a shipment. So honestly, the paper bag color really doesn't matter anyway. And I'm going to throw a couple of these down onto the floor for him to play with, so that maybe he'll stay down there and not come up here and be annoying. So if you hear rustling noises, that is the kitty. Okay, so I'm going to start with this small one, and then we can find another one later. Okay, welcome to my head, guys. This is the way it is all the time in my head. It's very disorganized sometimes. Okay, so here you can see it's really kind of boogered up over here, but there's still a lot of usable paper here. So now I'm kind of just gonna try and think, what kind of pockets would I want for my ephemera? And the ephemera that I have is all pretty short. There's really nothing too tall in here, so, and except for this, but I'm gonna fold these up and stick them in so that, well, I guess with these taller ones, I'll leave those tall maybe. Okay. Well, what I was planning on doing was like some short pockets here and then some other short pockets up here. But now I'm wondering if I shouldn't just have one general pocket for this. That kind of changed my mind. Okay, I'm rethinking now. Okay, so now I think I'm going to do a pocket here, right? So something that would be tall enough, and this one won't be tall enough to go this full distance, and then this can tuck in there, and then maybe some other wider things like this tucked behind. Because, you know, we want it to be pretty. So let me find a little bit taller of a piece of this, which maybe we have. I don't need this right here. Okay. So this isn't perfect because, well, I have to remember I'm going to be, sorry for the kitten, I'm going to be covering this up anyway, so this should work. So I'm just marking it down here where I'm going to trim it off. And I like to use my ruler more often than I like to use my trimmer, especially for paper like this where it's kind of wrinkly and unruly. So I lined up my tick mark down on the ruler, and then I just rip it up like that. And so here's this. Okay, so now I want to make sure and take off any extra up here. Oh, good. Boy, that was just the right height. I don't think I could have had that happen again. So we're gonna line that up again. This may not be 100% perfect straight across, but like I said, here, sometimes it's just easier, or just grab your scissors and just do it like that. There we go. Okay, I'm just not a very straight cutter with scissors. I know some people are really good at that. I am not. I wish I were. Maybe that just takes some practice that I haven't done. But anyway. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this packing paper and I'm going to glue this down. And the choice of glue. So on these, I used some glue stick, and I believe this is the new glue stick, and I was running out of another glue stick that I think was losing some of its stickum. And so we've got some air bubbles, which actually I kind of like. It kind of adds a little bit of character. But I did have to go in and I cut a slit and then use some art glitter glue to kind of squeeze in there. I think the only reason I wouldn't use art glitter glue is sometimes with papers you can see the line of glue coming through. So let's go ahead and just try this out. And since this is a pocket and you're not going to see both sides, I'm not going to worry about adding packing paper to both sides, just the one side. Sorry. It's been a while since I've been up here, and this glue tends to dry. Okay. Let's try that. Okay. So, let's add a little bit of glue. And because I'm going to come back and do some sewing, I don't know that I need to bother too much with getting right to the edge, because I'll hit that again with the sewing machine. As I say that, I go ahead and add some more glue, but you know, it is what it is. It's the perfectionist in me, I guess. We all have a little bit of that, don't we? Okay, so now I'm just gonna glue this down. I try to usually leave a little bit of extra room than what I just did because again, I'm gonna take my ruler and tear away the extra paper. So get that nice and stuck down. This one might be a little tricky because I sure did not help myself by how I did that. Actually, when it's still wet, I have found that it's easier to cover with your ruler and tear. Well, it's always easier to tear away the bigger piece of paper. But not every time is that the right thing. It just kind of depends on what you're doing. So here I'm just lining it up with the paper bag paper. Okay, so honestly I could just leave it this way because you're not going to see this part anyway. This will be where did I put mine? Oh, it's gone. Oh, here it is. Because we're gonna be putting this down, other than the fact that it's a little bit too tall, so you wouldn't even see the underside anyway. And before I glue this down, I'm going to sew around it. I was just thinking through I always try and think through all the different steps before I sew anything or glue anything, because I know I want to sew a perimeter around each of these pages. So I was just trying to decide if I needed to do that before I glue stuff down or after, and I think it'll be after. So okay, put that over there so I don't lose it again. All right, so I'm gonna be very careful here. I'm gonna try very hard not to tear away what I glued. Oh, good. Okay, that's gonna be a little bit easier than I thought. We're gonna throw caution to the wind here. Let's try this out. I am working with on top, and you can't see this, but my table is an old farmhouse table. Yeah, I was afraid that was gonna happen. And it's got 3 big wide planks, and there is a little bit of a bend here because one of them's just a little bit up. It's like 1 millimeter up higher than the rest of them. Okay, well, I really do love having that torn edge, but I think in this case I'm just gonna go ahead and trim that one. And you know, honestly, if we wanted to have a roughed up look, what we could do is just take the scissor and just kind of go like this. And maybe I should do that after I sew it, but just kind of rough it up a little bit and make it look a little bit more vintage. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. And before I sew, I will go around all these edges and ink them up to give them even more of a distressed look. So we have this now for the front page. I don't know if I like. Why is this end wider than okay, paper trimmer. Let's fix that. That's gonna bug me. Okay. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of extra work on this one. Okay, that's at least a little bit more even now. Trying to make things look professional here, guys. Okay, I'm happier with that, and I'll just take my scissors and kind of rough that up a little bit. So all right, so we have the first pocket planned out for the outside, and I don't want to paper clip that down, so we'll just remember that's for the outside front pocket. Now for this inside pockets, I'm thinking a couple of, down here, a couple layers of pockets, and then maybe a belly band up here. Would that be weird? I don't know. Let's start with the shorter pockets down below first, and then go from there. So simply going to, not measuring for height here, just measuring for width. Okay, so I've got my, actually let me, so I've got about 1/8 of an inch over here, and I'm looking for about 1/8 of an inch over here on the right. And so now we're 1/8 of an inch down. Let's say our pocket is about this tall. Cool. Okay. So, and I know I want this one to be all the way across, so I'm just going to go ahead and rip this entire thing. I always line up at least one edge to be straight, and that typically is all that I need. But then we just saw over here where it wasn't exactly straight, but usually it always works out in the end. So and when you're doing this, just apply consistent pressure throughout the whole ruler as you're pulling. There's times when I'll sometimes get a little bump or something because I didn't have it completely pressed down. Okay, so here is this line that I wanted for my width. And then now I'm just going to take this and match it up over here, because it should be the same width on both sides of the folder. I'm just going to mark that. And now we can rip off this side. Okay, so we've got these two pieces. Now we can put these on top of our packing paper. So these are going to be pasted down like this. And actually, I think I might do this. I don't want too much bulk in the crease here, because then it'll be hard to open or close it completely. So if something needs to hang over the edge, I'd rather have it hang over one of those edges. I think I want to add a little cutout. So this is an EK Success, hole punch, and I believe it's a 1-inch punch. Did I just turn that upside down? I sure did. Okay, so this is my top, and I've marked on here the middle to kind of help guide myself a little bit. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. I don't want to go completely this far down because I like to have a little bit more of a shallow half circle. But I am using those marks to make sure that my paper is straight. And we'll do the same. Actually, just use this to kind of help guide. And sometimes what I'll do is kind of mark the center, which will help as well. So now I'm visually lining up this line with that line and that line. And then this is crooked, so I'm going to bring it in just a little bit because I'm kind of lining up the distance between this line and where the top of my pockets are. It doesn't need to be this exact, guys, honestly. By the time we ink around all the edges, you won't notice most of that stuff anyway. So I've got glue all over myself already. All right, so here we have 2 pockets, and I know it's kind of hard to see because they're not inked up yet. I think what I want to do is probably this kind of a situation. Maybe we do 3, that's what we'll do. We'll do 3 of these on both sides on the inside, and then that way you can tuck in a bunch of stuff. Or what I could do is 3 on this side and then have maybe 2 layers of pockets over here. That's what we'll do. Let's do that. Okay, so I know I've already got these the size that I want. That's not quite big enough. So I'm going to come back over here and just use this to get my measurements. One, and I know you guys can't really see these very well yet. I'll cut and I'll cut the video and go ink these up and sew them and put it together with you again. So we have the 3 pockets there. So I think over here what I want to do is, and I said this way, but I think this way would be easier to pull things in and out of. So let me grab this. Okay, so that has a hard edge right there. But if we started, it doesn't need to be up that high, but actually it would probably be good if it was. So let's start down here, and I'm gonna pick this up down here a little bit. I don't need to hold on to these. Pick this up over here. I'm making sure that I'm about 1/8 of an inch away from the end of the center fold. And I'll mark down here about 1/8 of an inch down, and then a couple different ways we could do this. So I could just do a straight line, which I don't really like the idea of, or what I could do is kind of draw myself a curved line like so, which I think I like that better. And then how do I want to do that? I guess I could just tear around the edge of it like this. Well, it's working pretty well, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's start down here. Nope, that was easier from the other direction. So the grain of the paper is kind of helping me out here. Sorry for the crinkly noise. Okay. I need to cut off, just take off just a little bit more over here on the edge. And then match that up. All right. I kind of like that, you guys. So let's throw that down on here and see what we've got. All right, so now I think what I want is just another little pocket down here, which actually, would this be the perfect size? Just about. Let's just take off a little bit from the side. Okay, I'm gonna line it up on the bottom. Make sure it's straight. And now we can glue this down. So I'm just kind of lining this up. I think we need another pocket up here too. Let's see. I'm gonna mark my center. I don't know how well you guys can even see this, but there we go. Okay, so we've got tuck spot here, a pocket here. We'll have these 3 pockets over here. And what I'm thinking is actually something like this up here. That's actually kind of perfect, but a little bit wider. So let me move these over. What about this if we, this isn't quite as tall as I want. I want it to be about this tall. So about like right there. We'll just kind of fudge this one with our packing paper. And nobody will ever know. Well, I guess you guys will. But, oh, yeah, I guess I went a little lower. But that's okay. All right. So tear that off. We're getting closer, and you know, I never throw any of these papers away because you can use them. So let's glue this one down. This is probably pretty boring. I may have to do some editing and speed through some of this. We'll see. I'll watch it through, and if it's extremely boring, I might do that. Okay. Oh, we got both of the kitties, and we've got an angry one. Actually, that's Sophie. Sophie is the black, fluffy, black floof that you may have seen. I got her in April. And she's about 2 years old. We don't really know how old she is. She was they're both a rescue. And she kind of had a little bit of a rough life before I got her. But yeah, she's the sweetest little kitty cat ever. Talking about being introverted and extroverted, I don't know if cats are like this. I know every animal has its own personality, so who's to say they wouldn't be? if I was going to classify my two cats as being either extroverted and introverted, I've got one of each. Sophie's definitely introverted. She enjoys kind of hanging back, watching what's going on. She loves to play, but not nearly. Well, I mean, my other cat is still very much a kitten, and he's a boy, and he is the little tabby orange guy. His name is Oliver, and he is just rambunctious all of the time. So much energy that there's times when, just this last week actually, the other day, he was just nonstop the entire day, you guys. Like, I was trying to work, and I'm trying not to really pay much attention to them while I'm working, because eventually I will have to go back to the office, and they need to be able to understand how to live together without me intervening all the time. And so I have been trying to kind of train them for that. But, I take breaks and we play a little bit here and there throughout the day. And he couldn't get enough. It was just nonstop all day. And I think by about 8:30 that night, he was still going. And Sophie just looked at me like, oh my God, do something about this. she had enough. Oh, they just cracked me up. This is the first time I've ever had two cats at the same time. I've always only ever had one cat. And so it's really fun to watch them interacting with each other and playing with each other. But anyway, long story short, I've realized when they play, she's very growly and hissy, and that's just the way she is. So she sounds like she's dying, but she's really not. That's just Sophie. So anyway, okay, so we've got some pockets here, we've got some pockets here, and we've got our belly, or our tuck spot for the front. So let's put all this to the side. Now for the back, what will we want to do? I'm kind of wondering if we shouldn't just do another one of these on the back. Or we could do, you know what? We could do some of these. We could do 3 of these up the back. Actually, I kind of like that idea. Okay, so let's go ahead and use this. So I've got about 1/8 of an inch over here. So I'm just going to mark this 1/8 of an inch. How tall is this? Okay, we got to use some math now. All right, so we've got basically 10 3/4 divided by 3. Oh, that's a lot of math. I'm going to say 2 inches tall. That sounds right? Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, actually, that's exactly what I was thinking. So let's go 2 inches tall. And I'll just mark that here. And it's not going to be 100% exact, and that is totally fine. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. But anyway, in my craft room in the corner, I have a cat tree set up for them, and they just absolutely love to play and fight and go crazy on there. So that's fine with me. That's why it's in here, so that they can do that over there and not be up on my crafting table and let me do my thing. Okay, I'm gonna see if this will fit on. Ooh, I think it could work. Let's go ahead and do that. do is just this. Actually, I really kind of like that. All right, so let me pause, and I'm gonna go do a bunch of inking around edges, and I'll come back after that. And then quickly, well, I don't need to explain what I'll do. So I'll ink around all the edges, and then before I glue these down, I'm going to put them all through my sewing machine, and I'm just going to do a straight stitch around all the edges of them, and then I'll come back. Okay, so we're back, and I have inked around all of the edges and sewn around all of the pieces that we're going to glue down. And thankfully, I was smart to write on the back of these where they go. Okay, so these three go on the back. This one we know goes on the front. Do we want that there or there? I think like this. So at this point, I think I'm going to go ahead and use my Fabri-Tac for this part of it. I don't know if I need to put it upside down or not. So, okay, so this is my side that I'm going to keep open. So we just need some glue. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac because I sewed, and I just want to make sure that everything is nice and secure. And I know that this glue is very good at that. So, and then if I make a mess or something, I know I can easily clean it, because it gets kind of gummy right before it dries. Just like that. You just can kind of rub it out. So I'm just gonna go back through and get everything glued down. Just a minute or two to let this finish drying a little bit, and then I'm going to sew around the edges of these two pages. So let me do that, and I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back again. So we have sewn around all the perimeter edges. Nothing fancy. So now let's do the fun part of adding our ephemera to our ephemera folder. Okay, so I can get rid of this little paper clip now, and you should hopefully tuck right inside there, just like that. Actually, maybe let's do half of them here and half of them in the middle folder. Cute. Okay, I'm gonna move this over just a little bit. And then, do these fit? No, because they'll cover up that. Okay, so that thought isn't going to work, but that's okay. Let's tuck these in. Okay, and I was gonna say, oh, and I should mention too, and I'll mention this on the final video, some of these are cardstock, and then some of them are just paper, probably about half and half paper, copy weight paper. So just so that you guys know that. So all right, and then there's even some like envelopes and things. So I'm gonna try and find some wider pieces. Here we go. To tuck back behind. I think there's gonna be plenty of room for all kinds of things. So don't need to go too nuts here. All right, now start filling up our Santa Claus. We will put him there. See how well this will fit. We can stick some of these smaller ones in here. Like this. I think we're gonna have pockets busting at the seams, to be honest, but that's the fun of it, isn't it? Okay, I can't be doing these one at a time or it's gonna take forever. All right. Oh, I kind of like her down here. We've got some round pieces. And I need to remember I've got some smaller ones on the back, so let's keep some of these for back there. Let's see. Some of these taller tags. So that's kind of the plan, guys. Just gonna kind of tuck these in and make them look nice and pretty. Nope, that's too tall. And like, yeah, in the case of these, it's totally cool to have them sticking up outside. I think we're gonna have to outside. Oh, I can sneeze. Excuse me. Outside their pockets, because they're just a little bit tall. So we'll just stick some of these shorter ones maybe in there. But I love how they're just poking out like this. Put this here, maybe. Some more round ones. This one, it printed at the end of the paper, and there's a couple of them like that. I went ahead and still cut them out because I think it could be easily turned into like a little flip open type of thing, and they're, you know, tea-dyed, so you could just put some washi or something over here and kind of hide the fact that part of it's missing. Okay, we got another deer here. Let's put him down there. So I've got some taller pocket or taller tags, so I think, should we put a Santa there? Actually, he'll get hidden, and then we'll tuck a tag behind. Okay, so the rest of these, I'm going to try and fit the rest of these on the back, because this looks pretty darn good. Actually, we can put a few more things up here. And I think it would be really cute too if things were sticking out the top just a little bit. Wouldn't be a bad thing anyway. Okay, so this one's gonna have to just kind of stick out a little bit. But yeah, these were a little bit shorter of pockets, so we can fill these up with some of these less tall pieces. He's gonna get covered up. You're not gonna know it's a Santa until you pull him out. Okay. Merry Christmas. Put a tree here. I just love this kit. It's just, there's a lot of really cute ephemera with it. That's a little taller than I wanted. So yeah, some to from tags. So you could use these as gift tags for your gift giving too. All right, so got a few. I'm gonna have to watch on the others to not get glued too far in, because that kind of is keeping me from getting more stuff into the pocket, I guess. But these all tucked in here, and I think that's gonna be it. So how cute, guys. I like this. Really fun. I'm gonna move him down. I think he needs to be down there. There we go. Yeah, that's a little better. We'll tuck this one behind. So yeah, okay, well, there is part of our Christmas, I don't know what to call them, travel folios maybe. So I'll keep working on, and so like I said, this will be the part of the signature, and we'll have another signature behind the folder. But I'm going to keep working on the other 3 little pocket folders today, and I might bring you back for probably not putting the signatures together. That's pretty basic, but maybe when I get to the cover of this one, I'll bring you back in and we can do that together as well. All right, guys, this was fun. I hope you had a fun time watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.